Hey everyone, so you might remember, but I did a quick video on my Instagram the other day, basically putting a question out asking what fights that nearly happened but didn't would you have loved to see and do you most regret not happening? And when I say nearly fights, I don't mean fantasy fights, for example, a fighter from today fighting a fighter from the 50s. What I mean is a fight that was maybe even scheduled or was kind of they were talking about it happening, but for whatever reason it didn't happen. Maybe one fighter was avoiding another, maybe one fighter got injured, maybe there was conflicts with their promoters, who knows, but it didn't happen. There's obviously some of the obvious fights, and you guys gave me some really amazing ideas, some fights that I didn't even think about. But the first fight that I wanted to talk about, and this one kind of really, I think it would have been one of the most exciting fights of that generation, and it was actually scheduled to happen in 2008, but it didn't. It was between Zab Judah and Shane Mosley. Now, these two fighters, in my opinion, two of the most exciting fighters from that generation. Like I said, the fight was meant to actually happen in 2008. Both fighters had recently lost to Miguel Cotto, so the fight really made sense. But I think Zab Judah got an injury on his forearm or something. I think maybe he fell down and cut his forearm open or something. The fight got cancelled and for whatever reason never ended up happening. But I just think what an exciting fight. When I think about both fighters, you got to say probably both of their number one assets is speed. They're both crazy fast. They've got the most fastest hands in boxing at the time. So I just think to myself, wow, how would that fight have played out? I think it would have been a really exciting one. Not only did both men have really fast hands, they also both held really good power, especially Mosley. He really had great power in his backhand. Zab was that kind of slick southpaw, super fast hands, happy to get into a scrap, but also could be really evasive if he wanted to. And then you got Shane Mosley, one of, in my opinion, the best fighters of his generation. Some of his wins are just unreal. Oscar De La Hoya, Vernon Forrest, Mayorga, Margarito, some real good wins on his resume. And ultimately, when looking at the pair of them, thinking to yourself, right, well, who would come out on top if they had fought, especially in that stage of their career? You've got to go with Shane Mosley. Like I said, looking at the wins, Shane 100% has the better wins on his record. When you look at Zab's record, don't get me wrong, it's a great record, but he hasn't got those high-level elite wins that Mosley has. Don't get me wrong, Mosley lost to some great fighters, Cotto, like I said, Mayweather, but ultimately he's still got some unbelievable wins on his record. And when he beat those fighters, it wasn't kind of like, a lot of them weren't close fights. He really outclassed a few of them. I think the thing with Shane Mosley is he can keep the same quality throughout a fight. Whereas with Zab, I don't know whether it was through lack of discipline or lack of focus, lack of concentration. He would look unbelievable in the first 6 rounds of his fight. Sometimes you'd watch him get in there. I remember with the Mayweather fight, I was dying for him to win that fight. I remember it like it was yesterday. He got in there and you thought, whoa, he could do this. His speed alone, accurate. But then it was kind of like some of those fights just seemed to get away from him. Now, whether that's because of lack of focus or what, I don't know. But his opponents, a lot of them, especially at that super high level, that elite world-class level, that pound-for-pound level, I don't know whether it's because they managed to end up timing his shots in the second half of the fight or what. But yeah, when it came to that next level, Zab seemed to struggle with him, whereas Shane didn't. He was kind of like mixing it at that elite level, nearly to pretty much the end of his career. It would have been an unreal fight, I'm sure of it, but I put Shane out there in front quite comfortably. And to be honest, with Shane's power, you could maybe even see a stoppage in there in favour of Mosley. But what a fight would that have been? Unreal. It's such a shame that it never happened. After it got cancelled, I don't know why it never got rescheduled, but I would have loved to seen it. I mean, if you're asking yourself, right, well, how would Zab have won if you were in Zab's team? Really, the only way to kind of beat someone like Shane Mosley, who's got that unreal speed, he's got great feet, he's got power in both hands. Really, you've got to nullify his speed. Ronald Winky Wright did that really well, just with that classic high guard that he has, taking his hand straight back to his chin, not giving Shane an opportunity to even get to him. Who else beat him? I mean, Cotto did an unreal job with Shane Mosley. It was a great fight to watch, but I think a combination of all of the different types of defense that Cotto used ultimately got the better of Shane. That combined with the amazing combinations that Cotto threw. But yeah, I think the only way that you're really going to get the better of Shane Mosley is a combination of defense that's going to get his respect, because if you don't get his respect, he's going to kind of throw his fast flurries and kind of throw caution to the wind, and that you don't want. So you've got to throw offense that's going to get his you've got to throw offense that's going to get his respect, but also you've got to nullify his speed, and the only way you're really going to do that is with great defense. At times, Zab's defense wasn't that great. So yeah, I think you've got to put Shane out there in front in that fight. But let me know what you think would have happened with that fight. Keep coming with the ideas, because I'm going to keep doing these. There's loads more that I want to talk about, but that one I thought was really exciting. So yeah, let me know what you would have thought, and keep sending me some more ideas.